That's right. You read the title correctly. I did just see Deadpool and Wolverine. And yes, this will be very spoiler filled. What a fucking movie. Definitely the movie of the year. First off, the cameos, and then the plot, and then fuck knows whatever else. I'm just going off mind. I never do these type of videos, so I am pretty stoked. So, let's start off. Chris Evans as Human Torch, Blade, Gambit, Elektra, Juggernaut, Pyro, as you know from the trailers. Who else? Hulk. Henry Cavill is Wolverine. There's other people, but I can't think of them off the top of my mind. It was crazy. Oh, Hunter B-15. Wait, is it Hunter B-15? The main hunter from Loki, obviously. Unfortunately, there was no Loki. It would have been pretty cool as they kept referencing him, like, at the start. But I gotta say, it was so good. Who else? Oh, there was X-23. Some of these people have just been revealed in trailers. There was Sabretooth, obviously. And there was other stuff. But I gotta say that the opening scene opens with Deadpool digging up Logan's grave from obviously the Logan 2017 movie, and he's dead. And so Wade gets angry and starts talking to his corpse, and the TVA comes to arrest him. And then this montage starts with Bye 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 by, is it Nisink? I think it is. But yeah, that plays while he's basically slaughtering them all. And that selfie thing, leaked TV spot, whatever, that actually happened, which was pretty cool. And then he also puts on Logan's claws as Logan would and starts going through them all and stabs two guys in the balls and trying to pull them out, but he can't, and it's pretty funny. And then it flashes back to him as a car assistant, and Peter keeps the suit and so on. And then he goes back to his home, or I think it's Owl's, and everyone surprises him. Colossus, Vanessa, Peter, but he was with him, with Wade. And Negasonic, Teenage Warhead, Yukio, Dopender, Colossus, all of them. Oh, Blind Owl as well. And other people. Oh, Shadowstar, that's who it is. They all surprise him, but Wade's, like, surprised. Well, one, because there was photographers outside taking photos of him and Peter, and then two, obviously, surprise birthday. And then, so, he's talking to everyone. Al wants to do some cocaine. Dopender's talking about how he found AirPods in the back of his taxi, etc. Colossus is talking about some random stuff. He only gets, like, one line in the film, which is mental. I thought he'd come back for the end, but unfortunately he didn't. Then he gets sung happy birthday, he blows out the cake, the TVA knock on the door. He makes a joke about pegging, and then gets taken into the TVA, where Paradox introduces him to the Sacred Timeline and the MCU, and then they crack a few jokes, and then Paradox shows him the MCU. So the first screen had a few things from the trailer, and then it also had Captain America wielding Mjolnir, and then it also had him saying Avengers Assemble, and then there was one where he's dying in Thor's arms, which is a future event, so it didn't happen in the film, but it was referenced. And then he's told about anchor points. So a certain person in the universe dies, and the universe dies itself. And Paradox wants Wade to join the main Marvel universe, but Wade wants to save his world, and Paradox tells him that he's trying to kill him. So Wade, and Logan's the anchor point, so Wade breaks Paradox's nose, steals his hand pad, and goes looking for Wolverines, where he comes across a dwarf Wolverine, which is pretty funny. He was, like, treating him like a little child. Then there was Henry Cavill Wolverine, who's, like, jacked and he's, like, a mechanic. There was also a Wolverine in a brown and yellow suit fighting Hulk. There was... What else was there? There was Wolverine with just a right hand there was Patch, and there was a Wolverine on a cross in a land of skulls. And then he stumbles upon the Wolverine in the bar from the second trailer, drinking a beer and getting told that he's not welcome. And so what Wade does is he snatches him, and what did he do? He sculled a whole bottle, basically, and passed out. And Wade just took him to the TVA, and then they both got pruned. And then they wake up in the void and fight, and you know who turns up? Chris Evans' Human Torch. And then they all get captured. And Human Torch talks about a bunch of shit about Cassandra Nova. And then Deadpool rats him out, thinking it's funny. And then she rips his skin off. And he's now basically just literally his organs and bones are just standing there. And he's like screaming, and then he dies. And then basically Wolverine and Deadpool are confronting Cassandra, and she goes through Wade's mind and sees that he tried to join the Avengers with Happy Hogan. Sadly, no Tony Stark. That's the other cameo. Happy Hogan. Yeah, she sees that he tries to join the Avengers with Happy Hogan and other stuff. Wade telling Vanessa that he's not worth her, or no, he is not in her league necessarily, so she's too good to be with him. And then Cassandra Nova alters that memory to say that Wade's doesn't matter in anything or anything. And previously, before that, Wade, Sabretooth and Wolverine fight. And in that trailer where it's like, we've waited decades for this fight.
You look ridiculous. People have waited decades for this fight. It's not gonna be easy. Baby knife, you shoot the double, you take him down. Side control, then full mount, and you ground and pound till he makes no sound because he's dead.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh my God. Okay, good luck. I'm a huge fan.
That was actually not dubbed over, but that was legitimately what he said. The whole thing. So the baby knife, everything. The shut the fuck up, everything. It was all part of the main thing. And Wolverine, literally decapitates him on the first swing. And fight's over. Deadpool walks around with his head like the set leaks, talking about how he is Marvel Jesus. And then obviously get taken. Chris Evans talks a bunch of shit. Everything I just said. And then Cassandra Nova calls over Goliath to eat Deadpool and Wolverine, but they find a jetpack and escape to that canteen, the Joe's Pizza, which is abandoned, by the way. There's literally no one there but them and 2 cans of meat. So they eat that and leave, and they stumble upon Dogpool and long-haired Ryan Reynolds from the set leaks. And then, they both hate him. And and he's so nice that he leads them to a Jeep and basically gives it to them. And they drive along. And basically Deadpool admits a promise that he made to Wolverine as a lie. And they fight and fall asleep. Or, well, they knock each other out, should I say, not fall asleep. It's a bit light-termed. And they wake up in a base. So where Deadpool's in the skull bed, that is not from Thor Ragnarok, that is in a little base in the void with Elektra, Jennifer Garner, the Blade, and they make a few Blade references because it's funny. Channing Tatum's Gambit. I nearly said Jason Tatum because it's been a joke lately between me and someone else. And who was the fourth? X-23, as leaked by a trailer. Or not leaked, made in pure desperation, I'm assuming. And then, I keep saying and then. But and then her and Wolverine have a heart-to-heart. And then they go back to Cassandra Nova's base. And they fight. They get in. They steal Juggernaut's helmet. They put on Cassandra Nova so she can't use her powers. Then they release her. She sends them to the MCU. Not the MCU. Back to Wade's timeline. The Deadpool Corps show up. She shows up. trying to kill every timeline. They stop her, and everything's good. They end up back at Wade's apartment having dinner. Wolverine tries to get Wade and Vanessa back together. Deadpool lives with them. And the post-credit scene was referencing Chris Evans talking bullshit about Cassandra Nova. I did kind of like skip over parts of the plot towards the end. That's because I'm too lazy. But let me assure you, it's definitely the best out of the trilogy. Sadly, not as much Colossus in there. But it is definitely one of, if not the best of the trilogy. And probably a top 5 MCU movie by far. But now, it ends with Deadpool and Wolverine in Deadpool's universe. And Deadpool's timeline is restored and all good. But that leaves the question, will an incursion happen? Will Deadpool's universe actually die? Will Deadpool return in Secret Wars? Who knows? Hopefully it returns in Secret Wars and his universe, not his universe die, but him and Wolverine return. But personally, I thought that was really, really good. And I had loads of things to say, but I forgot them. It's pretty cool how Blade came back, Chris Evans came back, because like the way he came back was like they were fighting, and then Chris Evans yells, "Are you two gonna keep fighting?" And then like he takes off his cloak, and you see him with the full beard and the normal haircut, like he's out of Gifted or some shit. And then like Pyro shows up, and he tries to stop Pyro with his powers, and Pyro just sucks it all up, and he falls, smacks his balls on a pole, and is like, "Ah, fuck," and then like falls down, smacks his head, and lands on his like basically like his neck onto like the ground, and like passed out. And then the Sabretooth fight happened. Yeah, and then obviously Deadpool had a meeting with Happy Hogan at the start of the film, which was also pretty cool. And then there was extra stuff as well, like him and Vanessa broke up, but I'm pretty sure they're getting back together at the end of the film because they were holding hands and having a heart-to-heart because Wolverine set them back up. Wade was the person who ripped Wolverine's sleeves off. Wolverine finally put on the mask. You know the scene where they're walking out and it's just them two? There's no one else with them because they ditched everyone. But Wolverine puts on his mask and fights the Deadpool core with Deadpool. And Dogpool runs to the side. And Peter shows up in Deadpool's old suit because it was in the car sales area. And they all love Peter because every universe has a Peter. And so they all love Peter and start hanging out with Peter. And Deadpool and Wolverine stop Cassandra Nova and Mr. Paradox. Yeah. Because Pyro was actually working for Mr. Paradox in the Void. And they had direct contact, somehow. Sadly, there was no Mobius or no Loki. But they did make a few references to them. So it would have been nice to see them. But unfortunately, we didn't. So it is what it is. There was other stuff. Sorry, it's hard to think about. But the songs in the movie were pretty good as well. So in the second trailer where they're walking out, like I said, and he put his mask on, Like a Prayer plays like it does in the trailer as they're walking out, and then he obviously puts his mask on and fights them. The Wade with the long hair, and he doesn't actually have regeneration powers like our Wade, and so Wade uses them as human shield and gets him killed so he can keep Dogpool, and it's pretty funny. And yeah, because they have this whole beef, the whole thing. Well, nice Deadpool doesn't, but Wade does, because he wants Dogpool, but he won't let him have it, which is pretty funny. And then obviously dies, so he gets to keep Dogpool. But yeah, it's so good. Like, yeah, that's like worth it. That film was worth every penny. I'm definitely seeing that shit again. It was so good. The marketing for it is really good as well. Like, they didn't even, like, yeah. Juggernaut was in it as well. Like, he was in a lot of it. Let me keep that straight. But he dies to Laura. Like, she cuts his legs, like, his feet off, like, right at the ankle. And then she chops his head off. Yeah. No Ryan Reynolds Juggernaut. No Fire Fist. No Cable. None of that. Negasonic and Yukio get a few lines, like, the first scene and the end scene. That's, like, it. Colossus only had one line. Dopender had a few lines. What was Fat Gandalf? What was his name again? Well, he got like, well, Deadpool was making this joke where it's like no lines to him, like he's just improv, and then he like says something like "Happy birthday, Wade," and he's like, "Shut up with the improv." Yeah, that was pretty funny. And then, yeah, there's so much to it. But yeah, if you watch this, that's your own choice. But yeah, by the time I'm making it, it is Wednesday the 24th of July, 9:47 p.m. Yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hopefully, I may do more reviews like this. Probably won't, probably will. I don't know. But I had to do it on this film. This film was the movie of the year, probably, and the only MCU movie there was. But, oh, that fucking opening scene was so good. It was so funny. Like, he, like, literally, like, cobbed open from the the Marvel fanfare or whatever it's called, to, like, it opens, and the only thing they changed is adding Deadpool into, like, when it goes from Captain America throwing his shield, it turned, instead of it, like, being a random character, it was Deadpool going, and then when it comes out, it was, like, Deadpool going, like, humming it. It was like, which is pretty cool. And then, yeah, he's, like, digging Logan's grave, and he's like, please don't be dead, please don't be dead. He's like, fuck! And then, like, throws his, like, shovel around, and that was funny. And he's talking to, like, the dead corpse of Logan, and, like, the jaw just comes off, like a stereotypical skeleton. And I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, thanks for watching. It's a bit of a weird ending, but go see the fucking movie, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Also, additionally, you know that scene where Dog Paul is licking Wade's face with the mask on and Wolverine looking at him like that? That is not edited either. That is purely normal, and then Wolverine puts on the mask straight after. Sorry about that. It is so good. As I'm editing this, I'm just realizing I'm picking up this stuff, so voiceover over. Goodbye. Hi again, it's me. And also, you know that scene where Wade's, like, little finger toodalooting away? He's also doing the under the stairs, Superman flying, all that. He's trying to save his world by holding together these two strings to make sure Cassandra Nova doesn't destroy his world, which is shown in the final trailer. And then Wolverine somehow breaks in and helps him stop that. So that's what that is as well. Voiceover over. Goodbye.